Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Topic of our crowdcast today is how to maintain the roof at your rental and avoid costly repairs. We all know that delaying maintenance doesn't make it go away, it just makes it cost more. So hopefully today we're going to spend about 30 minutes with you and share some tips and tricks from the best and the greatest city in the U.S. and help you guys as investors protect your rentals, protect yourself, avoid liability, and a whole laundry list of things. We aim to make this worth your while. My name is Matt Lishber. I'm with 1836 Property Management. As always, in beautiful Austin, Texas. You can find us online. You can find us on South Congress. Just find us. We're here, and we're here to help you guys invest in real estate so that you can reap the benefits of this down the road. It is a long-term game. During our crowdcast today, there is a button on the bottom of your screen that says Ask a Question. If you have a question, feel free to pose it. Please be professional and polite. And once we get to the end of our segment today, if there's anything on there, we'll be happy to tackle it to the best of our ability and do anything we can for you guys. Today, I'm with Christine and Adrian of Austin Roofing and Construction. I've known these guys a decade, maybe 10 years. Yes. It feels strange now. Every time I go somewhere, they take a poll and they're like, how many of you been in business? 1 year, 2 years. I'm like, how did I get to be the old guy in the room? 15. That's where we're at now. So these guys are one of our licensed, experienced, trusted vendors. They do just about everything, which they will get into related to roofing repairs and maintenance, a little bit more. So guys, please tell us a little bit about Austin Roofing Construction, about yourselves. Feel free.
Austin Roofing and Construction is a South Austin based roofing company. We don't storm chase. We stay right here in South Austin supporting our community members. And we've been in business since 2013. We have certifications for all different types of roofing, from metal to flat to shingles. We can offer 50-year warranties. We recently took up GAF's newest solar energy roof, or GAF Energy Solar Roof. So it's to compete with Tesla. It can hook up to the power battery walls, and they're shingle roofs, so they go in super fast. Wow. We try to maintain our certifications across the board so that we can be assistants on commercial and residential projects. This is Adrian Gonzalez. He is our production coordinator, so he is the one that really is the roofing expert in the room.
Yeah, I've been in roofing for about 11 years now. I guess expert you could call him. Kind of a roofing nerd. I love roofing. This is what I do. And all types of it, not just residential. I come back to commercial as well.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Well, our video topic today is how to maintain the roof of your rental, but the properties that we manage are really single-family homes. We manage closer to 750 units around Central Texas. We're not in other cities. We don't want to go to other cities. We want to do the best we can here, just like Austin Roofing and Construction. You focus here. You're not out chasing everything that's shiny. And the properties we manage are single-family homes. So we call them, investments or assets or whatever. But the truth is, they're all single-family residences. And so they're going to operate the same as your primary residence for the vast majority of cases. And the maintenance is going to be very similar as well. So I think this will apply to a lot of people. So some of these things we're going to go over today are typical roof issues, average costs associated with maintenance and repairs, top preventative maintenance practices. And then I even noticed that in our notes today, our Austin Roofing and Construction folks threw in a couple bullet points of what not to do. I discussed this briefly with them, but I won't point the finger at them. I'm going to say from my perspective, one of the biggest challenges that we face every day is how to get people to stop thinking they can YouTube their way into saving $10,000. There's a reason that businesses are there and people utilize them. It's because there's so much you don't know. And I think anybody that does a professional career knows that about themselves, but maybe they forget it when it comes to some of these other tasks. And we're here to remind you, you don't want to be up on your roof. There's some comedic stories out there about people retiring and they can't wait to enjoy retirement and they fall off their roof. So don't do it. That's not the place for you. If you're questioning it, or you don't need to be on your roof, flat out. So let's jump into the first topic, typical roof issues. Let's give the investors a little bit of information about what you're seeing out there on a day-to-day basis. Give us the nuts and bolts. What are you guys seeing with roof issues in Austin every day you're out?
The biggest one that I've seen is one, blown off shingles, and two, damaged shingles by tree rubs or something. These houses in Austin are very close proximity to their neighbors nowadays, and people plant trees. It rubs on the roof a lot, and a lot of people don't think about how damaging that could be to their roof. I think those are the two biggest topics that I see most often in Austin in the market. Out of that, Christine, anything else for you?
No, I mean, out of the things that poor ventilation, I think is probably something that we see a lot of that makes a roof run out its lifetime faster than it should.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of houses, especially older homes in Austin area, have very poor ventilation, and sometimes they could age the roof pretty quickly. So granule loss and just looks old. There could be streaks of algae or something that could all contribute because of the ventilation of the roof, and that's a predominant thing here in Austin.
So when we think of ventilation, we think of like the vents, maybe the ridge vent that goes across the top, but really also that perforated soffit at the bottom that allows that extra. Some things that we've run across that also help are like some solar vents, but we can get into those things later.
Yeah.
I agree with you guys. I don't think anybody really understands how damaging tree limbs can be to a roof. And every time you look up, it seems like the trees have grown another 6 feet and somehow they're on your roof. We didn't even notice one of ours was close in my personal residence until the ice storm. And then all of a sudden, everything was on the roof, covered in ice, and we were listening to it scrape as the ice. Yeah. And so, quickly you realize you better get up there as soon as everything thaws and clean it up, because it's just going to cause damage more and more. The blown off shingles, is that something that's related to the installation? Is it naturally occurring? What are your thoughts on that? Because so many people want to blame everybody else for something, right? If something bad happens in my world, if it's not perfect, it's someone else's fault. Do those shingles just blow off? Is it an installation error? Why does it happen?
It's kind of both. It could be sometimes installation error, and it could just be sometimes that the shingle's old or the type of shingle it has on there. A lot of houses in the Austin area have what are known as 3-tap shingles. That's the most economic type of shingle you can put on your roof. And just in comparison, how economic it is, if you were just to upgrade just to a 30-year shingle, an architectural style shingle, architectural style shingle has a 130 mile per hour wind rating from warranty, versus a 3-tap shingle has a 60 mile per hour.
Can I give you one guess which one the builders put on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just brought this new home, and now the roof is already messed up. I don't understand. I mean, it's new.
Correct. Yeah. And it's easy. They blow off, especially in certain little parts of towns where there's wind tunnels and just crazy windstorms that we get sometimes. It's easy to happen. On
microbursts? Is that
microbursts.
what they call them?
Yeah. Now, there is occasionally that, sometimes the insulation can be improper. High nailing is the biggest cause of it. But especially if it's a 3-tap roof, most of the time, it's just the fact that we live in a very windy area sometimes, and they tend to fall off. And it goes with aging.
I won't hold you to this because obviously there's 1 story, there's 2 stories, there's small houses, there's big houses. But what's the difference for a builder on a normal 1,800 square foot house to put on good shingles versus the cheapest they can find to sell the house shingles?
I don't think the difference is that much cost wise.
$2,000,
something like that, or roughly.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing to me. Builders are in business to make money. I respect that. Welcome to America. But the consumer has no idea how far they go to save a penny. And I had a lot more pity for them until this last summer when they started kind of taken the meat out of everyone in our industry for their own benefit, and now they're on the other side of the coin. So it's just a shame they don't give you a lot more of those options when you build your home, so that you could make those decisions yourself, because it's so cheap to do it right the first way with all of these things, repairs, versus trying to go back. You can't go back and redo it. So, well, on that note, since I pulled up the numbers and the cost right there that quick, the next topic we've got is average costs associated with maintenance and repair and replacement. So just give us an idea, like what are you seeing on some of these things we've already mentioned, whether it's blown off shingles, whether it is resealing. We've got a whole laundry list. I don't want to take that away from you. Give me your idea, and we won't hold you. Again, all of our viewers need to know, we got big houses, small houses, we got, yellow houses, green houses, we've got everything out there. So the numbers we're giving you are a wide ranging ballparks, but it at least puts it in perspective for our normal 3-2 cookie cutter.
And preventative, for the most part, it should be roughly less than $1,000 in preventative costs. Usually between $500 to $1,000 is what preventative costs will cost. That usually has like a reseal, checking out the roof, and just making it storm weather tight, basically. And that goes more for like the age of the roof. If your roof is a bit older already and it's past like 5 or 6 years, sometimes it's best to just get an inspection and get somebody to seal it off. It gives it more age in a sense. Or now, average repair costs though, if you just give something prolonged, you have a little leak or something, the faster the better. That's the truth. The faster the better. One leak can cause one thing, but then you could have decking repairs. You could have other issues. Sometimes you could get mold in your attic space. The longer you prolong it, the more expensive it's going to be. That's for sure. On average, average repair costs for something like in a shingle roof or residential is in between $1,000 to $2,000. And that's something for some people wait just a little bit. Waiting even longer, it just gets even more expensive. And sometimes you have to replace the roof at that point. And that's where, that's what you're trying to prevent sometimes.
So I'm going to do my best to go back through a few of these that you just mentioned, because there's some great points associated with these. So on the preventative, when you go to reseal the roof, what does that include? What do you look for? And how much additional life? Again, we won't hold you to it, but how much additional life does that give you? If you did that every 4 years on a new roof, how long would that extend it versus just call me when there's a problem?
I would say it sustains the lifespan of the actual roof. For example, if you have a 25 or 30-year roof in a sense, you do have to do some certain types of maintenance, small maintenance like that, in order to get those 30 years. Now, there's other factors too that goes into it, such as basically where you live, the weather, and so on and so forth. But the best thing to do is have those preventative costs, because one of the biggest things is that there's going to be things that over time, especially in Texas, that are going to unseal. They're just going to crack. They're going to break. Something's going to happen. And we want that preventative there, because if you let that, then water intrusion is going to happen. Things can rust. And those are the type of leaks that take a while to happen. They notoriously will take over a year for it to proceed, and then finally you see something that you notice. And those are the things. Those are the type of leaks that you might be having a small leak, you don't even know it yet. It'll happen in 2 years, and by that time, I finally noticed it, and it's already too late. It's already damaging your roof.
I agree completely. What I find interesting or fascinating about roof leaks is they never show up where it's leaking.
Okay.
They trail all the boards, and they show up over there or over there. You're like, that's nowhere near where that water's coming in. And it becomes a Where's Waldo, trying to find where those leaks are if you don't go up there and take care of it. In response to your cost of about $700 or so, I find it fascinating, because if I divide $20,000 for a new roof in 30 years, let's say it lasts a full 30 years, it comes out to right about $700 a year. So if you had someone jump that roof once every 4 years for $700, but it extended it 3, 4, 5, 8 years because you cared for it, you're saving money. every one of those extra years beyond the one you had the maintenance done is $700 more in your pocket. So you're going to pay, or you're going to pay. The roof isn't going to last eternally. But let's put the money in a wise place. Let's not ignore problems or waste money. So I love that you're promoting to get up there and check it all out and just reseal. Those boots, all that stuff is rubber, is it not? I mean, what's the seal? Silicone or rubber that you're using on those?
Yeah, it's not necessarily all silicone. It's a roofing silicone, but I forget the name of it, to be honest. It's called, it's meant for roofing products itself. It's not something you could just go get in Home Depot or something like that. As a matter of fact, don't actually go get the stuff at Home Depot. That's not the ones that you really want. Those technically, they won't last as long as you want for your roof. Most of the time, you should hire a roof expert that knows what type of silicones that need to be put on there. There's different versions of them, and then there's specific ones that we use just for roofing. I forget the name of it, but it's not silicone. I apologize.
No, it's some other compound, I'm sure. The people at the chemical companies probably have it trademarked and everything else.
Yeah.
But there's a reason why you guys know what you're doing. And the guys at Home Depot are great. They're helpful. But again, they're helpful as much as you falling off your own roof. So let's just keep you in one piece and go to work and make money where you make it, and then pay the people to take care of the dangerous stuff. So for our owners, one of the big things I want them to realize is you're going to spend the money, and you've got to keep a portion of what we send you, or keep a portion as reserve, so that you can invest it wisely. When we call and say we need to do something or there needs to be a repair, we don't get a response because no one saved any money. You've got a resident living in that house with legal obligations to properly maintain it. And you do not want the M word to come up, because whatever you thought you were just going to spend, move the decimal place. Because as soon as a resident who is protected by the state starts using the M word, you got a big problem. So we've got to stay on top of these things. Only through maintaining that property as well are you going to get the best tenants. Because if somebody shows up at a house to look at it and the roof looks like it's caving in, they're not going to stay there. If they're a person who pays their bills with integrity and loves their family, why would they move their family in that house? Then you start looking at how much time off the market, or how much less in rent am I going to get because I'm not maintaining this property. Guys, you got to spend the money. You got to maintain it. Investing is not a one and done solution. You don't buy the house and you're just scot-free until retirement. Just like your 401, you put some money in, but you need to consistently maintain and increase the value of those assets. That's how it grows. So don't go cheap. Don't go to Depot, pick stuff up. Ask the experts what they know.
And your tenants are not going to get on the roof, nor should they. So having someone to get up there every 2 years, or even once a year, we do it for free. Call us. Let us clear off the debris. Let us, get you a gutter cleaning company. Let us help you do all of those different things that can keep that roof in good shape.
Yeah, I love that. Just have you check it out. And honestly, they're not going to call you every year, because who's that diligent? We can't even remember to change our HVAC filters on time when we have alarms that tell us to do so. So, but call Austin Roofing and Construction, talk to them, and let them check it out. They'll be in your neighborhood probably one day this week. They're all over the city. So schedule with them and let them check it out. So the third topic we've got is really preventative maintenance practices. We really want people to know what to do. We do not want residents, staff, pretty much anybody on the roof except for the experts. I know it's easy. I know it looks flat. I'm sure it doesn't. And you do not want, you could do major damage to yourself, and it's just not worth it, right? We don't want to go to the hospital. So roofing is simply something that you should leave the experts. It is an owner's responsibility, though, for all rentals. No resident is going to know which report or be responsible for that from a legal sense. You have to deliver that home. So you've got to take care of this. We've got to use preventive maintenance. We've said this 100 times. What should our people do? What should they look for? Give us a list here of what all you can do and what they need to know.
What can they do? Well, obviously look for the most the biggest signs, obviously, the trips or anything inside the house. Christine, would you know anything else off the top of the head?
Yeah. So if you finding out the age and the type of the roofs that you have, that'll be a good place to start. Do you have a 3-tab that is going to last an average of 14 to 15 years here in Texas that was installed 10 years ago? You know, this is something good to know. Do you have an architectural shingle? Do you have a flat roof? You know, TPO roofs, those nice flat white roofs. I had a girlfriend of mine. She called me the other day. She was sending pictures. Look, we have a patio. We don't have a patio. I know it's flat. We got a patio. So knowing what kind of roofs you have and maybe what you might have to tell your tenants about them, right? Now, have talking to your tenants so that they send you pictures as soon as they see any bubbling, as soon as they see any staining, that they can send somebody a picture about that. Let us come out for free, you know, put it on the calendar, tell Matt and his team, hey, give them a call once a year and get them out there for free. We're happy to do that.
Will not mind. They really don't mind. They just want the houses well maintained.
Yeah. Insurance can be sneaky. So one of the good things to look out for is to make sure that your roof is covered by a replacement cost value, RCV.
Okay.
Some Allstate was doing it for a while. They were grandfathering home policies in, and they were changing just the roof portion to an ACV policy, an actual cost value, which means if it costs $20,000 to get a new roof, but this roof is 15 years old, they're going to say it's only worth $4,000. You have a $2,000 deductible. We give you $2,000 for your $20,000 roof.
Have a nice
So
day.
RCV, make sure that is replacement cost. Things not to do. Don't try repairing it yourself. Please don't buy the cheapest roofing system. It typically costs less than $1,000 to upgrade to the best one. Consider a solar roof. I don't know how valuable that is to y'all, but when you get I know what I want to talk to you. It's with the solar roofs too, but be concerned about your warranties. When you get a roof, if you go through a certified contractor, one that's certified with GAF, with Owens Corning, with CertainTeed, you can get a 50-year roof warranty, which means that it's guarded against manufacturer's defect. But specifically, like with GAF, they have a golden pledge and a silver pledge. Above and beyond the 50-year manufacturer's warranty, you can get up to 25 years of free leak repair. So if that roof leaks anywhere in 25 years, and that's $1,000 warranty, that would save you way more than that, you know, as you hold on to that asset and that property. The Silver Pledge offers 10 years of free leak repair. So when you do get your roofs replaced, consider the warranties, as most people move out of their house every, 3 to 7 years. You're most likely in this for the long haul, and you're going to keep it for the long term.
At least 15 years. I mean, a rental, it needs to run its course. That's how it starts being productive. So yeah, we need a roof to run the course with it and stay in place and really last that whole time. So I can't thank you guys enough for all the great info. The fact that you're out there touching these things and seeing them, there's no replacement for that. Anybody that's watching this and wants to YouTube their way to success, it's not going to happen. You're going to get tired after 3 YouTubes. You're going to go eat dinner, and you're going to think you have all the knowledge you need, and you don't. And that's on any subject that there are professionals, like plumbing, electric, HVAC, any of that. There's a reason why people are in these businesses 10 years before they are so great, and then you start hearing about them in the community, and it just takes that long to get great at it. We've had these discussions before, and it really helps to have people that you can count on in your city that are reliable, that are honest, that are trustworthy. We say that so much at 1836, but we still, those of us that are from Austin, still have a standard that we believe that's the way the city should be. You shouldn't be able to just move to Austin and open a shop and go, well, I'll promise everything to everybody and I don't care about the results. We really value integrity in those that have been in the town, not because we don't like the newcomers, but because it's just important to us that things are done right. We want that integrity in our city, and we want new residents to feel that as well. So Tell us a little bit more about your business, any advice you have, any expert tips. What did we not cover today that you want to make sure people know about Austin Roofing and Construction?
Adrian, what do you know that you can tell them about the GAF solar roofs? And I know that this isn't as important for a rental property, although there are reasons to have solar, and we do know people who have rental properties that use it. Is there an opportunity to offset electricity costs for your clients and increase your rental income?
It's really a cost benefit analysis on it. So what is the cost? 1,800 square feet, one story. What's the cost of installation on that solar roof?
It really differs because it depends on the type of system you're trying to purchase with the solar company.
Okay.
It depends on how much energy you're trying to offset to what that price would be. Yes, it's more expensive. However, I would say this: if you're looking comparison of Tesla and a GAF Energy roof, GAF Energy is definitely going to be a lot more affordable and a lot more readily available.
Here's something. So yes, let's say it's going to be a $20,000 roof just for like a golden pledge, 25 years leak protection, and you want to go for the GAF. You're probably going to be looking at like $40,000, right? But what we are also looking at is there's a 30% tax credit. So you can get 30% of that. It's not like a write-off, it's a rebate. It's a dollar for dollar against what you owe. And they have the Inflation Reduction Acts, which may even add an extra 10% to that in 2023, making it a 40% tax credit that you can take off of your taxable income at the end of the year. So there does end up being a net cost to these roofs.
So is it 30% and 10% off of the whole roof, the 40,000? Okay. Yeah, so that changes the math, to be honest. I mean, rental properties, we have not seen residents today. I've seen everything change in my 16 plus years, right? What we thought worked does not work today, and so on. I've not seen people selecting properties by energy costs today.
That was my question. So it's not relevant per se.
Well, but if the cost is only $8,000, because they get, it's an $8,000 variance. I'm sorry. So like the original roof was 20, the whole roof is 40, but you get all these rebates, so the net variance is 8. Think about the resale. Now the asset is actually worth more. So if I can get more rent, great. If I can't, the asset still gets the benefits of all those tax credits. That may be one way where it makes sense numerically. And in the future, let's say energy costs keep going up. I mean, it's not exactly stable out there after ice storms in Ukraine and everything else going on. Let's say energy goes up because something happens. However, the tune may change. And I know everybody kind of wants to be independent at this point because those of us that were here, survived it. I'm not acting like we didn't, but it was scary going through the ice storm because the threats were the grid is at stake. I might not get it for a week. That's a massive change. So, I think for that variance, you might be able to make sense with it for investment properties. For homeowners, with that variance, that's a no-brainer to me. I know nobody wants to spend money, right? We fight people all day. Please spend money and just do the right thing. Please invest in your own future. But for $8,000 difference, that's a no-brainer. You're going to make that back in your cost that you're going to be in that house. So I can get behind that.
Pardon?
I can get behind that.
Oh yeah.
As things start changing, as the incentives get stronger, it may become more and more viable options for the rental properties. There was something I wanted to tell you.
While you're pondering, you want to answer this?
You can't get charged extra by the city of Austin. So like by increasing your home's value, there's actually they take off the cost of any solar or other green items that you've added to your home. So it doesn't increase your taxable value.
So you just have to let them know.
Mhm.
Travis County, I would guess. Yeah, well, they're trying to tax everything else. Everybody's tax bills went through the roof, and rents always follow tax increases. So everybody's all upset because the rents haven't, it takes a while. They're year, 2-year leases. So, but it'll come up. It'll all work in conjunction. We've got one question from Wendy today is, what type of shingles are there? And I think you had mentioned 3-tab, you had mentioned architectural.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically on shingles, what is in our area?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Specifically,
Types of shingles, Adrian.
Oh, okay.
You see out in our area.
Your most economic is going to be the 3-tab shingle. That's what they call it. Afterwards, you jump up to the architectural shingles, laminated, and there's different versions of them. But architectural laminated is basically a 30-year. Now there's different ones to say as impact resistant goes about, and those are your class 4. Through insurances, they're considered class 4, which basically means that they can withstand some hailstorms. In my experience, they're pretty decent, but a big hailstorm is going to damage that as well. That's just plain truth about it. They does get covered by insurances, though. That's also another thing. We also deal with metal roofs, tile roofs, TPO roofs. Those are all also considered class 4 impact resistant as well, just in a different tier of its own. And while it's in a different tier, they are more expensive. Yet the cost for maintenance on them, it's fairly doable, just as a shingle roof. Now, however, when you do have to do a repair or something like that, yes, it could be a lot more than
Now, Adrian, I have a question. So, as there are 3-tab roofs, and then there's also the architectural roofs, which are the 2 main shingles that we deal with.
Mm-hmm.
It's also important to use the accessories that are made for those particular roof shingle types, yeah?
Yes, correct. It is. The 3-tab, they have very similar accessory to architectural roof. The bigger difference is if you get to more of the impact resistance. And yeah, even the architecture, they have different accessories that are more of an upgrade that help protect your roof as well.
What is an accessory for a roof? What would that look like?
It would be like the underlayments of the roof. There's type of underlayments that go under the roof, type of certain things called ice and water shield, synthetic felt. There's also types of flashing you're going to use as well. There can also be the hips and the ridges of the house that use a type of different types of profile. You can use architectural. Most of the time, you want to use a high profile hip and ridge for it. It also looks aesthetically more pleasing than using something like very economic based. But yes, that's correct. And
Ventilation is also considered an accessory.
oh, by the way, yes. Yes, ventilation, and that's one of the most important parts of it. That ventilation system. That ventilation is, I think, the number one key when it comes to the lifespan of your roof.
And just so people understand, I know this sounds super obvious, but so that there's no confusion, your attic space is not supposed to be temperature controlled like the inside of your house. Closing it off is a no. That you do not close off an attic space. That has to have free-flowing air coming through it. Not only if you have gas-fired appliances up there, but as you guys are saying, to preserve the roof. We've had several homes, one specific that was, I'll call it a mansion that was built out in the county, and they didn't follow codes, and the hot water heaters kept going out because there wasn't enough oxygen and airflow. And the owner sold the house instead of repairing it. So I think there was a bigger picture with the sale, but nevertheless, he just didn't want to deal with it. So most homes that are built by builders, especially in the cities and everything, have reasonable ventilation, but please don't put anything to cover anything up or patch it. Or I've seen it all over the years where people want to seal things, and roofs, attics have to have ventilation, have to have fresh airflow. So thank you guys so much for spending time with me today, spending time with us. It's great to see you post-COVID world, even if this is where we're at today, as we're still down the street from each other. It's great to
Yeah, we're really just down the road from each other.
Oh yeah, it's great to see your faces, just to hear your voices. I can always be found on South Congress, 1836 propertymanagement.com, 512-994-4323. Where can our viewers find you guys?
AustinRoofingandConstruction.com. Just type in Austin Roofing on Google. We should come up. 512-629-4949. And Adrian at AustinRoofingandConstruction.com if you have any more questions.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Oh, and we're on Ben White. We're in 78704 off of Ben White.
And if you ever have any questions, just email me, guys. I love to answer them.
Yeah, and please reach out. I think nowadays we're so used to not speaking to humans. We want to find something in an FAQ or on YouTube. Life is so much easier if you just ask experts and talk to them like normal humans. I'll speak for 1836 and Austin Roofing. No one's here to take advantage of you. We're here to do a good business because we know that reputation is what's going to give us a future. So just ask, collaborate with us, help you. Together we'll get your business if we treat you well today. You'll come back when you need us. So I don't know where you're from or what experiences you've had. We have a lot of people that find us online and they're worried that they're going to get taken advantage of. They don't know who we are. And that's who we are. We're just local folks trying to do right by everybody else, and the business will come on its own. So we don't need to shortchange anybody. If we can do anything for you, especially about this video or anything else real estate related, our email to find us is questions@1836pm.com, as in property management. Our website is always 1836propertymanagement.com. And thank you guys again, Christine and Adrian, for your time today. It's just wonderful to see you guys.
It's nice to see you, Matt.
Take
Maybe
care.
we'll do a post-COVID lunch, yeah?
Talk soon. Bye-bye.